Okay, here comes another video. It's 3:55 in the morning West Coast time. It's still the 11th of January 2024. I was just watching CNN, and they actually had one of the reporters who's been in there and embedded with the Israeli Defense Force. One particular division commander had taken this guy through a portion of the tunnel out in Gaza. I can't tell you how it makes me feel. Uh, there's a whole wide range of emotions going through this one, but I had flashbacks of movies regarding how entrenched enemies would use tunnels to stay long and try to fight a prolonged war. And Hamas is doing that, but also keeping prisoners down below. They were saying that it took Hamas a long while to plan for this, to prepare for this, to make sure this was going to be an ongoing siege, a long ongoing siege. And Israel's saying that they got no choice but to do this. They want to weed out Hamas out of there. And it's underneath wreckages of buildings that they had this tunnel network in an area that would span Manhattan. Manhattan, New York has extensive, well, New York itself and the East Coast has extensive tunnels regarding subways. You know, I tried doing a few subways myself out here in LA. I can't tell you how claustrophobic the damn thing is. When we actually had the transit systems opened for the underground, and this was 20, almost 30 years ago between that time period, Dave and I, Ma, were living in the San Fernando Valley at the time. And we were going, me and my brother decided to take a subway trip just to see how it was. It's claustrophobic. I mean, in our adult lifetime, we had taken many trips. It's still claustrophobic in there. My brother had suffered through claustrophobia a little bit. And staying underground like that is just unbelievable. Going through the tunnels, you could see the work that was involved. It's just feel like your world's collapsing on yourself, and that's how it was. Looking at it all, till you get to the train station, you get out there and you get into the sunlight, and then you can start breathing for a change. So let's just say, for an example, if I wanted to go to, say, back to Universal Studios, okay, I would take a bus trip from Roseman all the way over to the train station, above ground. I would take the Metrolink above ground, about 2.5 hours. Get over to Union Station, and here I hear the cargo trains going by. So I'm arriving at Union Station, but now we get to do the underground. Of course, if I was over at the Burbank station, I would take the transit bus, and it'll take me about a couple hours just to get over to Universal Studios. I figure about 10 o'clock I'd be getting over to the ticket booth. I'd have to enjoy about maybe 2 or 3 hours before I get back on the bus and get back home, go through the long route. A few hours for Universal. I'd rather be spending it over at City Walk at that point, if it's any interest. But I'm saying, just technically speaking, if I was going to do this. So, I'll be taking the underground subway, actually, all the way over to Union Station. Actually, Universal's from Union Station. And that's where we'd go. Get up and be able to breathe the air. But just being underground for a short time, it takes about an hour, roughly, because there are stops in between Universal platform and Union platform. How'd it drive me nuts on that one? That's for damn sure. Seeing the tunnels that I had, that CNN was showing to people left and right, it really reminded me of some of the tunnels that sometimes they would show on the old news clips and other things concerning about the Vietnam War, whatever you would call it. It was still a war. And how the Vietnamese had lived in there, survived in there. Not to mention how the Japanese tried to do it in the islands when they were fighting against the Allied forces. So, an indigenous. So, let's say the people trying to protect their homelands would bury themselves or come out of trenches left and right, but live in the trenches. Trench warfare. It's one thing when you're open season for that. The trenches are open. World War I. But to have this existence, that freaks me out. Why the hell? What was with them? They wanted this shit. They planned on this. We've heard that the IDF had already eliminated top commanders and a leader, but the war still continues. And what pisses me off in about 20 or 30 years, we're going to be back at it again. Because Hamas will be renamed into something else, and you'll have another rebel group out there, if you're going to be calling them a rebel group out there. And they're going to be going after Israel one more time. It's like, I can't understand any of this. Why? So one thing, when I was trying to get into the politics concerning about the Vietnam War, what the hell happened in that damn thing, or Korea War, or even World War II in the Pacific in the islands. But this, I guess I won't ever understand it. It doesn't mean I'm going to condemn it. It just, I'm seeing the insanity of it all and what it means for other people. Meanwhile, you want to talk about other insanity, politics, politics, politics. You know, some people have been afraid that we are not going to be surviving long. We're not going to be surviving long. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I sure the hell I don't know what the hell we're going to do.